Hi, I'm Anne Marie with the Oregon Farm Bureau, and welcome to this episode of Fred Talks.
Hi, I'm Jason Flowers. I'm president of the Klamath-Lake County Farm Bureau.
Obviously, the Klamath Basin has struggled with a very serious drought this year. Can you tell us a little bit about it from your perspective?
No. So we did deal with a pretty severe drought situation down here. Part of it being natural drought, and part of it what I would call a political drought or a man-made drought. And that affected mostly the Klamath project, which is the project of the Bureau of Reclamation that was developed in the early 1900s. They dried up a couple of lakes and developed some storage in Upper Klamath Lake, and so they could use that water that used to go onto those other lakes for irrigation for farming purposes. This year, the Klamath project, received zero allocation of water. So the first time that they've been shut off completely since 2001.
Incredible. Do you have any idea how many farmers that impacted approximately?
No, I don't. I know it impacted a large part of the basin. There was some farmers, including us, that had wells, so they were able to do some irrigation. Obviously, not the same amount of acres they normally did. I think this year we only got to farm about 40% of our normal acres because of the water cutoffs. And then there was some people that are not necessarily on the project that not using what they would call federal water, but have state water rights where they can irrigate directly out of the river. And those people were still able to irrigate. But I mean, even our stuff that had water, our yields and stuff were cut short. The soil was dry to start with because of just the dry winter. And so we were trying to play catch up with the irrigation on the stuff where we were able to irrigate. And then the extreme heat that we had in June, which is really unusual for us. We don't usually hit triple digits, if we do hit triple digits, until towards the end of summer. And we had, I don't know if we dropped below 90s for our highs in all of June, which was really unusual. So even the stuff that did get water down here, yields were definitely cut short. And right now we're looking at a pretty big shortage of feed for livestock.
And you grow hay for your livestock. What other crops do you grow?
Yeah, so we do hay and typically we do small grains, oats, barley, and wheat. This year, our grain acreage was cut way back. And so we chose to, the grain that we did plant, we planted a beardless variety that you could hay for forage for animals, for livestock. And so we didn't run a combine this year for the first time in my entire life.
And then also at the same time, you had the giant bootleg fire going on as well.
Yeah, we did. The north part of our county got hit by the bootleg fire. At one point in time, it was the largest fire in the country. It drew national attention. And there was a lot of people lost some livestock in it. They lost the range land and the feed that was on that range land during it. So that affected a lot of our members there in the north part of the county that had livestock. And then those of us, south of the fire, we may not been dealing with the fire directly, but the smoke, we had to worry about unhealthy breathing conditions for the people we had working for us. And then the smoke, it affects the way the plant grows. And if you got hay down on the ground, it affects the way that the hay cures so that you can bale it too. So it definitely affected everybody in the county for sure.
What kinds of things was Klamath-Lake County Farm Bureau doing to help members during this tough summer?
One of the big things we tried to do was just draw attention to the basin and the need for change, whether that is amending the Endangered Species Act so that it more workable for people that are trying to make a living around the endangered species, and also to make it so that they're not just managing for a single species as well. Sometimes when they're trying to manage for a single endangered species, they're affecting a lot of other species, a lot of other wildlife that's also trying to live in that same area. In our circumstance, they're managing for endangered fish, and the way they're managing the water is drying up the national wildlife refuges, which is affecting the waterfowl that come through the Pacific Flyway, and we're one of the major stopping points for them when they're headed both north and south. So that affects that. Oregon Farm Bureau helped us draw attention to that. Fox News actually reached out to Oregon Farm Bureau to try to talk to farmers affected by drought, and they got them in touch with me. So we did a live interview with Fox News and got national attention to the basin. So I think that helps show people, what we're dealing with here, and hopefully we can get some changes done in DC. And then as at a local and a state level, the Klamath-Lake County Farm Bureau, along with Mary Ann Cooper from the Oregon Farm Bureau and other local interests, we started in April trying to get funding from the state to help growers and producers get through this tough year. We knew that livestock feed was going to be an issue. We knew that wells were going to be drying up, domestic wells. And we knew that people were going to have, they got fixed costs that they got to pay whether they're farming or not. So, I mean, they've got power bills and demand charges for their power. They still have to pay assessments to the irrigation districts, even though they're not getting the water. They got property taxes, they got mortgage payments and lease payments. And all this stuff still coming in, even though those people aren't able to farm and make money. So we started working at the state level. The state had gotten money through the one of the relief acts for COVID from the federal government. And we've been working on that all summer, trying to get a chunk of that money to the Klamath Basin to help the people that are affected by this drought.
Well, thank you for your efforts in that. It's very important. Do you have any idea of when you might hear about more state funding?
It seems like every week we keep hope it's tomorrow, and it keeps getting pushed back. We really wanted to get the livestock feed portion and the money to help deepen domestic wells. We really wanted to get that done by the end of summer. I mean, we were trying to get that done in like August, maybe September. We did not get the help from the governor's office that we were hoping on that, and from the legislature. It's looking at like sometime early November, we might get an answer on how much money that's going to be. But in all reality, that's just the start of it. Then they got to, get the money to funnel down through the different agencies and set up the programs. I think we'll be lucky if we actually start getting money to people by the end of the year, which for some people might be too late, especially on the livestock feed part. That's going to be too late for the livestock feed part. People are already going to have to sell their animals by then. And if they are able to keep their animals, you're going to have a hard time finding any feed by that point in the year.
Yes, and hay prices have also gone up extraordinarily because of the shortage.
Yeah, no, hay prices are the highest I've ever seen at this point. And that's good for hay producers that got their acres cut way back. It's, kind of helping them make up for that loss in acreage. But for the people that are needing to buy it for their animals, it's a really tough situation.
And have you gotten any rain recently?
Yeah, these last set of storms that came through, we've been pretty fortunate. We've gotten, I don't have a rain gauge myself, but one neighbor said he got 2.7 inches in the last week. And, some people are saying they're right around 2 inches. South of us a little bit further, they're at 3 inches, I think. So we have gotten quite a bit of moisture, and hopefully that's just a sign of what kind of winter we're going to get. Hopefully that turns to snow here pretty quick so that we can get a snowpack in the mountains, because we can be above average on precipitation, but if we don't get it in the form of snow, we'll have another water shortage again next year.
Tell us a bit about what you do as president of Klamath-Lake County Farm Bureau.
Well, I try to lead the board, I guess in a positive direction. But I think my biggest thing is I'm more of a representative. I'm kind of the for lack of a better term, I'm the face of the County Farm Bureau. I don't make the decisions, the board makes the decisions, and I just get to carry out their wishes and represent them whenever given the opportunity. So, we have a state board rep, Lyndon Kearns. He does a phenomenal job taking our concerns and our needs to the State Farm Bureau and trying to get the State Farm Bureau to do what they can to help us, which they do a great job on that as well.
You got some of your skill honing from YFNR. I see you're wearing a YFNR vest. Tell us about that program.
YFNR is a great program. So I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a longer story, but I'm third generation on our County Farm Bureau board. I believe I'm actually third generation to be County Farm Bureau president in Klamath County. So I was born into the program. I got drugged to meetings throughout my childhood with a lot of other farm kids from around the state. And as soon as I turned 18, I got on the County Farm Bureau board, and I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to go to the House of Delegates for the State Farm Bureau and help set policy because that's where things got done. What I didn't realize is I was not really fully prepared for that. And that's where YFNR came in. My mid-20s, I started getting involved with the state YFNR committee and went to a national leadership conference. First one I went to was in Orlando, Florida. And that just kind of lit a fire under me, showed me what the program actually did and the possibilities within it. And I just started getting more involved at the state level. I think within a couple of years of that, I ran for state chair and became state chair of the Young Farmers Ranchers Committee, and did that for 2 years. And every year I continued to go to those national leadership conferences and just go to workshops and develop my leadership skills further and my speaking skills. And then, while I was state chair and I started getting involved with, to interact with the National Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee more at that level, it kind of opened my eyes that, hey, I can take this one step further. So I applied to get on the National Young Farmers and Ranchers Committee. I got accepted onto that, did that for a couple of years, which is the limit. It's a 2-year limit. And then when I got done with that, I was like, well, I learned a lot from this process. Let's go back and try to get to be chair of the state committee again and take what I learned at the national level and try to build our state up that much more. So I think all in all, I was involved with YFNR for at least 11 years at the state level. And it was a great opportunity. There was a lot of opportunity for travel, which I really enjoyed. But the leadership development was huge, and it's a great program. I fully support it, even now that I'm not a young farmer and rancher. I guess according to the Oregon Farm Bureau or Farm Bureau General, I'm an old farmer and rancher. So I do what I can to support them. If they got questions or they need help in an event, I'm always there to do what I can to help, because I really believe in the program.
Well, we appreciate all your years of volunteering and your leadership growth, your commitment to that, because look at you now.
Thank you.
It's worked.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great program.
If a farmer or rancher is watching this and they're on the fence about joining Farm Bureau, what would you say to them about why they should join?
Oh, that's a good question. You get people that say, well, why do I need to join? The Farm Bureau still does the work, whether I'm a member or not. But strength is in numbers, and the more we can boost our numbers and their dues help go into the budget so that we can do bigger, greater things. I think it's really important that every farmer in the county is a member. It's important that the State Farm Bureau and the employees we have and the lobbyists are able to go to all the hearings and work through the legislature, because we're farming full time, so we can't be in Salem all the time doing what they're doing for us. So I think it's really important that we're members of Farm Bureau, that we help keep that organization strong and and in turn, they can fight for us.
People don't realize that so much of public policy directly impacts farmers and ranchers. What are some public policy issues that you grapple with?
Well, for us down here, I mean, anything involved with water, we're always fighting something to do, whether it's water quality, water quantity. The last few years in the legislature, we've been fighting a bill where they're trying to require a water measurement and reporting. And that may not be a bad concept, but at what cost? Our family, we have like 6 points of diversion, where we take water from the river, and that's some of those points of diversion. The cost of the device to measure that is, it's 6 figures. So I mean, how do we afford that? So we fight things like that. Labor is becoming a major issue. We don't have a ton of labor in our area, but just even if you only got 6 employees or 2 employees, the laws and the regulation that's starting to come down on labor is really, really important one for us to fight too.
Yeah, we're hearing more about labor rules and regulations all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we've subscribed. I know the Oregon Farm Bureau has the Fields program, and we've started subscribing to that, even though we only have a few employees. That they help us kind of dance through all those rules that OSHA and the Department of Labor and everybody's always, I mean, especially through COVID. I mean, it seems like every week there's a new rule or something coming down through, and they help us get through that. So that's a really nice program too, through the Farm Bureau.
What are some things that you love about working in agriculture?
Oh, boy, I mean, being raised in it, I've never actually had a real job, I guess. At least according to some people, this isn't a real job. It's really nice. I don't know, farming, it's really nice. By the time you're getting tired of one season or one part of the job, it's the season's changing and you're doing something else. So I like the change. I like the fact that I'm not stuck in an office like this most of the time. Most of the time I'm outside doing stuff. And I really like I guess the natural aspect of it too. I like putting a seed in the ground and watching that plant grow, and just knowing that you were responsible for taking care of it through the season, and just harvesting the fruits of your labor, I guess.
What generation of farmer are you, did you say?
I'm 4th generation on our property. We're, I think it was 1911. So we're like 100 years old or something like that now. So we're raising the 5th generation. He helps out when he can, and hopefully, we can keep fighting and get a little bit more water security and make it look like enough of a promising future that he'll want to do it too when he gets out of school.
What are you doing today on the farm?
Well, this morning I just we got a couple guys working for us right now, and they're working on fall tillage. So I went out and checked one of the rigs and make sure that when he moved to a new field, the tillage equipment was doing what I wanted it to do. And then I came back to the office briefly here to make sure that I had all my paperwork together and everything, because I'm supposed to be doing an organic inspection. Well, it's supposed to be at 1:30. She got done early, so she's going to be here probably within 15 minutes to a half hour, and I got to do an organics inspection this afternoon. So unfortunately, today's going to be more of the paperwork side of farming, but it's kind of a rainy, misty day, so that's probably not the worst day for it.